I am the Curls.
I'm Johnny Three Tears, and we're Hollywood Undead.
Very nice. Now, the friend that I was talking about is Lower D Sick Danny Diablo.
Oh yeah, we're cool with him.
Yeah. We
Talked
talked to him.
EMS dudes.
We talked to him last year. He's an old friend, and I know that you guys have a connection with him. And I mean, if we could explore that a little more, we've covered so many DMS bands. I'm a huge fan of New York hardcore. And I guess some people don't really understand how the connection came about or what
Between us and them?
Yeah.
Well, we know Isaac and Loki are guys who lived in LA for a while and stuff like that, and so just through the bar scene and drinking and whatever else we do, we started to get to know them. Like Loki used to stay at my buddy's house, who's also in the band and stuff like that, and then just hanging out with him and stuff like that. So at the time, we made a reference to DMS when we did a song called "Tear It Up." And so when they heard that strength and connection, and then we have a lot of roots in New York and stuff like that, so whenever we go there, we hang out with them. It's just a normal relationship that friends have.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
What connection do you have to the hardcore scene? What values of the hardcore scene do you kind of identify with?
Probably none at all. I mean, except for maybe the fact that people that may listen to that music may also like us. But
He loves hardcore bands.
yeah, I love it, but I would not put us in that genre whatsoever.
I wish we could.
Yeah.
Be part of a badass.
Probably get more legit, right?
Fuck yeah.
More cred.
More cred, street cred.
Bro. Hardcore cred.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he used to be in the hardcore scene, so I used to make fun of him for their funny dance moves.
Yeah, those kids these days, but you gotta grow up eventually.
So you're saying once you grow up you can't dance like that anymore?
No, I just think it's still like just as with anything, people get into certain types of music for a while. I mean, I still like it, but it's not what I'm into anymore. So, I mean, the affiliation with Hollywood Undead in that scene is, I've never heard that before. So
Yeah.
I would
Now we get a lot of the same fans, though.
yeah, a lot of the same fans.
So we're down with it, bro.
I'd like to know what issues concern you in society these days.
We do have songs that are born from the issues and government and stuff like that, although we don't make it as obvious, you know what I mean? The issues that concern me, I mean, I have the same concerns as anybody else, economic issues, poverty issues, and anything else like that. I think the problem is, at one point I was much more idealistic than I am now, it's very regimented that you start to realize there's not anything you can do about it. So it's like, especially with being an American and having traveled and seeing the viewpoint of the Americans worldwide, it sucks because I don't know any Americans that fit that thing, but our government is so disconnected from its population that they paint a picture of us that's absolutely not true. And I mean, it's so disconnected from us that there's absolutely nothing that the common average citizens feels they can do to fix anything or do anything. I mean, if I had my child, I wouldn't pay taxes so people could go to war and stuff like that, but if I don't pay my taxes, I'm going to go to jail. So it's like, it'd be one thing if it was going to schools and positive things, but it's not, and if I don't pay them, I'm going to go to jail. So it's like, you eventually get beaten down to the point where it's just like, okay, I submit. I'll be docile, I'll do whatever that it is that I have to do,
Regardless of your beliefs.
Yeah.
Really, the world knocks you about enough and you kind of just go, oh, fuck it.
What kind of things concern you, though, in everyday life? Either for you, your friends, your family, your community?
Lack of social awareness. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, the current times, the way things are now for America, there's obviously huge economic issues. So right now, that would be the biggest focus point of my concentration, because I don't think people doing music, you don't suffer as much. The entertainment industry doesn't suffer as other things, but like family members of our bands, our parents and stuff like that are having really, really hard times. His dad's business just went out of business. My other friend in the band's mom can't make a living anymore. So I haven't been affected as much, but of course when your family and your friends, that I think it would be my main focus at this time. But people have it way worse than I do, so it's tough for me to comment on it, especially if there isn't anything I'm going to do about it,
Yeah, to us, a commodity becomes a luxury to some, but to other places it's even far worse.
Yeah.
Rough times.
The styles that you bring to the fold are did you combine them? You're essentially a crossover group. You bring together.
I don't think of it like that, because there was no conscientious decision to go, let's mix this music and this music. We're all from LA, which is a very hip-hop driven community and stuff like that. And I grew up listening to more hip-hop than I did rock. But when I started doing music, I felt, okay, I'm a white dude. White dudes play rock music, so I started a rock band, and I was in a rock band for years. And then after I weeded out of the music scene and stuff like that, because I was like, okay, this isn't working out for me. We started making music more for what we actually wanted to make, and incorporating things that we wouldn't normally be able to incorporate in the kind of scenes there are in Los Angeles. So we started making, and that caught on for whatever reason. So, although I guess there are different subgenres and genres within the music, I wouldn't say it's like crossover this or that we're rap rock or that we're metal, whatever, whatever people label it. I just think it's, it's Hollywood Undead. It just has elements in it that may draw from all these sorts of things, but it's just everything. I mean, you like you said, you grew up in the hardcore scene and stuff like that. I'm sure there's rap bands you like and hip hop artists you like. Of course. So who's to say, oh, you can't incorporate that in your music? You know what I mean? That was our attitude. It was like, dude, fuck all the rules. Let's make music that we want to make, and it's right when we let go of all those rules, that's when we actually had some success and have done better, because before, I mean, it was just a constant struggle, and now, I'm in Montreal hanging out, and it's drinking beer, talking politics. It's awesome.
Yeah, good stuff.
We can't tell people how they're going to interpret what it sounds like. I mean, that's to each his own, I guess.
But I totally understand people hate it right away, because what it is, and I mean, I honestly don't care if people hate it. It's not like a personal issue for me, like, well, why do you hate it?
Yeah.
So, there's plenty of bands I hate us, like us. I mean, of course, I appreciate our fans, but I appreciate the people who don't like us just as much. Give me the energy.
That's it, the fire.
Yeah.
Fuels your engines.
It makes us laugh.
There you go.
And cry.
Cry sometimes.
Do you have any beef with people or groups that you want to settle in this interview?
No. We don't beef. I mean, I've had issues with other bands and stuff, but nothing I'd bring out in the open because, it's personal and stuff like that. It's not. That's one thing I've always thought about the rap. The whole thing was kind of silly. Was these people are fighting now. Oh no, they're cool. And now these people are fighting now. It's like if people really wanted to handle something like that, there's easy ways to do it. You don't have to announce it on some interview.
Yeah, using this via isn't necessary. It's almost like talking shit on MySpace or the internet to someone. It's pointless.
No beef.
No beef.
If you could send out some words of wisdom to your fans out there, to the young people out there, besides the ones that you send in your songs, what kind of advice would you offer kids who are struggling? Because a lot of kids are struggling out there with, family problems, financial problems.
The only thing I can say, because I don't want to speak from a high vantage point, is, from personal experience and the experiences I know my friends have had, it's not easy growing up, especially when things start changing. You're an adolescent and you don't know exactly what you're going to do. But I think 99% of the time you're going to come out the other side of it if you just stick it out. So don't give up because, certain things are trying or hard at times. Because in my life I've gone through some real shit and I'm alive and I'm healthy and happy. And I think everybody will be if they just give it that time that you need to get through those years. And your parents get divorced or you're broke or whatever it is. You can make money and fuck your parents, who cares? It's like, life's going to keep moving, so you got to just keep rolling with it.
I guess, now for each of you, the last question, what's, the greatest lesson that you've learned from life thus far? From your personal experience?
I think it's what it seems. I mean, to be honest, growing up listening to music, of course it's always been a great thing, and music is fun and aesthetic and it makes you happy. But being on the side of it than we are now, you definitely see a different side to it, a different appreciation, I guess, for it. Just like anyone in any sort of field that they want to strive for.
Yeah. I think if people just, are honest with themselves and honest with other people, no matter where they end up, they'll end up happy because at least they're not full of shit and stuff like that, and you just stick it out. And life's hard. Never said it. No one says it's going to be easy. And if you stick through it, you may not be rich or whatever it is, but I don't think that's really what most people in the end will identify happiness with,
Yeah.
It can be fulfilling if you drink enough.
Alcohol's good.
Yeah.
We're just kidding.
What else is good besides alcohol, substance-wise?
Pussy juice.
Pussy juice. Alcohol.
It's good in life.
Hang out with your friends.
And being aesthetic, creating things, whether it's music, art, something, I think that's why people were put here. I don't think it's to just struggle and survive. I think art is what gets every single person, no matter what it is what gets people through the day, because it's, some people sit in an office or go work in a field or whatever it is. music and art are what inspire people to keep going. And so I think if anybody, whether you think you're bad at it or not, that's what we're here for, is to create, more and more to enjoy.
Awesome. What's next for Hollywood Undead? And we're out.
We are going to finish out the rest of this tour, and then we are going to go over to Europe, play a bunch more shows, and we have a new release coming out in the States. I don't know when it comes out in Canada, but it's called Desperate Measures.
Yeah.
The 10th of November. It's a CD/DVD.
You can see all the behind-the-scenes stuff and how we live, and he's trying to use some new songs on it and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing now. We're promoting that and touring. Tour.